Hi, happy Sunday. I decided to come on early. So instead of waiting for 6 o'clock on the dot, I said, you know what? Let me come on a little earlier to surprise everybody. I just happened to be ready. I was sitting here just waiting to turn the camera on, and I said, I'm just going to go on. Maybe there's a few of you guys out there just waiting, knowing that I go live at 6 p.m. Eastern, and you may be just waiting to come on. So, hi. Hello, Kim. Welcome in. So glad that you're able to make it. Hi, Tammy. Welcome in. I'm just going to pull the live up on my computer so I could see all the things. Hello, everybody. Come on. Let's go ahead and do it. There we go. Pulling up the live. I was just sitting here and I said, I might as well just come on. So I'm here, very excited to see all of you wonderful folks. Who do we have? We have Ada and Penn. And let's see. We have Billy Joe and Cindy. Hello to you. And Ola Joe. Hello to you. My words are all screwy. Hold on. Let me scroll. I have to do both because I can only see like 2 or 3 lines at a time. So if I missed your comment, I promise it wasn't on purpose. When I first logged into the computer, it didn't show me the chat. Now I can see it. I've got the glasses on, everybody. And where did I leave off at? I said hi to Ola Joe. Hello to you. Very, very good. I've been in the bushes. Hiding in the bushes, doing all the things. Oh, good to see all of you wonderful folks. Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. So, for today, a new month begins, right? Share boxes. And as I told you guys, the share yarns that I have for the next couple of months will be coming out of my stash. And I do have residuals from donations that I will be sharing with you guys. So I'll be talking to you guys about that. But before I jump into any of that, guys, Sandhill Yarn sold out in 60 seconds. I was on the site just an hour ago. Well, within this hour here. I signed in. I was ready to go. The very second that it flipped over, I refreshed the screen. I put the things into my cart. I went to go pay, and it was sold out. I couldn't even pay for what I had in my cart. It sold out that quickly. So yes, I'm gonna keep. Well, actually, you know what? I keep telling myself I'm gonna keep trying, but actually, what I'm gonna do is just wait a minute. I'm just going to give it some time. I'm going to allow them to catch up. Maybe they could put more skeins of yarn in their store before I try it. But 60 seconds, all 500 skeins sold out. 60 seconds. It was insane. Anyway, with that being said, hi, Carrie. Welcome in. I did a vertical earlier where I caked up Sandhill yarn. And if you missed that, feel free to check that out. I show you guys how to use the tabletop Swift. So much fun. I had such a crazy. I had such a great time. See, I'm reading the comments and talking, and I'm combining the words. Mashed potatoes. I was saying great and crazy. Crazy. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, I had my coffee in tow. Dunkin' Donuts hazelnut coffee with caramel macchiato creamer. So good. So, I got to tell you, one of the share boxes for September was not claimed. The deadline came and passed. I even waited until midnight. The cutoff was supposed to be 8 p.m. Eastern, but I waited 4 additional hours for that one person to reach back out to me to claim their prize, and unfortunately, they never did. So that entire box is now rolling over for this month. So I'm just going to show you what one of the boxes look like, because some of you guys may be wondering, well, what exactly is a share box and what's all in it? So I have the box right here. I'm going to share with you guys one of the share boxes. Now, mind you, we had 7 boxes in total. 6 of them actually made the cut. The labels are on, and a huge thank you to all of you who reached out to me with your information. You made it very, very easy for me, and I appreciate it. Each and every one of you guys should have received an email with a tracking link. So let me just go ahead and get this box up here and show you what this box looks like. I decided to put yarn on top of it. So here's the box. This is one of the share boxes. It's huge, and I reuse the boxes. This one here is a 16 by 16 by 12 box, and there's 13 pounds of yarn in this box. Now, I'm not going to take any of, actually, I am. As per the shipping adjustments for the holiday charges, the fees for the charges are drastically different for anything weighing heavier than 10 pounds. So unfortunately, I will be taking yarn out of this box, and I'm going to try and keep it under 10 pounds. But this is what it looks like. So packed to the top with all the yarn. All right, so because of the fact that we're redoing the box, I'm going to show you what's in this box because it's a new month. We're doing new share yarns, okay? So let's do it. Let's see here. I'm not going to get into the details of like the specs unless you guys ask, but each one of the packages that I send out comes with one of these. And the main element of this little bag here, this organza bag, is one of my stitch markers that I had specially made for my channel. Pen Daisy Designs. So here is my stitch marker, and it has JTYA Designs. That's the name of my business right there. And it's got a purple bead, and it's got a lobster claw, maybe. It's got a clasp. But yeah, and then you have a lot of notions and things in there, okay? Hi, Dawn Aaron, welcome in. Thank you so much. I decided to come on early, guys. I was just sitting here waiting for 6 o'clock to happen, and I said to myself, well, why would I do that to myself? I could just press the button and talk to you guys. So, hi, everybody. Welcome in. So just to recap very quickly, for those of you guys that are peppering in, one of the boxes for the month of September was not claimed. It's this box right here. It's going to roll over, but because of the shipping changes, I have to keep the packages under 10 pounds. Anything over 10 pounds, I mean, it's insane. So this is a 13-pound box. So I will be redoing all the boxes, which is why I'm showing them to you. But anyway, each package comes with this. Anything you get from me comes with one of those, okay? We have a bag of Premier's Just Chenille in various colors. And there's something I have to tell you guys. It's really, really important. I am no longer going to be doing misfit boxes and share boxes because I'm sitting here telling you guys that all yarn is good yarn. And if that's the case, you're just getting a box of yarn. Some of the skeins will look like this, and some of the skeins will look beautiful and gorgeous like this. So you're going to get the full run of the gambit. It's going to be a lot easier on me on shipping, and it's going to be a lot easier for you to create more things with different kinds of yarn all in one box. So just know that if you put your name in the hat for any one of my boxes, it's going to be Pandora's box. You're going to get the full run of the gambit. It's just going to be a bunch of things. Take what you want, share what you don't want with someone else that you may know, but yes, we're just passing the yarn along, okay? So all yarn is good yarn, and I got to practice what I preach, because if I'm sitting here telling you all yarn is good yarn, the misfits are just as good as the pretty skeins. So Just Chenille, you've got about 6 skeins of yarn in here. All right, the next one I have here is this spinnerin yarn, and this yarn here is vintage yarn. It's like a mini boucle. It's called Spinnerin Charisma. So it's 56 acrylic and 44 nylon. So there's about 20 of these, actually 2, 4, 6. Yeah, there's about 20 skeins here, give or take. All right, so you have that. Next, you have this Timu yarn. There's 6 skeins of this DK weight rainbow yarn. And I put it in this secondary bag because we had some loosies, and then we had some that were not loose. So this is what it looks like. Very, very nice. Right now, I'm just going through the box from last month because I do have to dissect it. I got to put it into a smaller box. The next one here I have is James C. Brett Marble. This is a DK weight yarn, and the color number is MT13. MT13. So it's a really nice coffee color, like a brown, a muted brown, if that makes any sense. So that's nice. Next, we have Loops and Threads Cream Cotton. It's in this blue, very nice. It feels really great on the hands. This is a medium 4-weight yarn, and this is hand wash, lay flat to dry. Long story short, I bought a bunch of this hoping that I was going to be able to use these for Boggy Creek blankets. I wasn't able to do that because this is hand wash, lay flat to dry. So all Boggy Creek donation blankets need to be machine washable and dryable. So I donated all this yarn. I split it up between all the boxes. Hello everybody, welcome in. All right, we have more Temu yarn here. More of this rainbow DK weight yarn. All of these skeins are of the same colorway. It's a blush pink going into a green. Really, really nice. And there's 6 skeins of this. Hi, Miss Monica and Erica and Linda. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. So it's called rose color. I think it's going to show up backwards, but rose color. All right. Beautiful gradient. There's 6 of those. Next, we have 6 skeins of Spin Cozy. Also, I got this from Temu. This is a 50-gram donut, 50-gram skein of acrylic, and I have various shades of tan and brown. So there's 6 of those. Next, we have we have some eyelash yarn. I got these from Canada, Aberdeen Wools, part of their mystery boxes. They sent these to me back in 2024. And this is what it looks like. And they're full skeins. And there's about 6 of them in here, between 6 and 9 of these. All right. So what's the makeup of this? I feel nylon in this. 70% nylon, 30% viscose, 77 yards, and they suggest a number 9 knitting needle. So a 5.0. Dust bunnies, right, Peggy? Yep. Amigurumi stuffing. It makes great polyfill. Just saying. Shh, between us. Hi, Danette. Welcome in. Thank you for being here today. This next one here is also yarn that I got from Aberdeen Wool out of Canada. And I gotta tell you, I really, really love the color story here. It's not like eyelash yarn. This is called Siam yarn. It gives me something like homespun meets, I don't know, boucle. So really nice, and there's a bunch of it here. So there's between 9 and 10 skeins of that Siam yarn. This would make a great scarf and hat combination. It would look really, really nice. It's on the thicker side, and let me see what the suggestion here is. So they're suggesting a US 13, US number 13. So that's a 9mm crochet hook or knitting needle. So US 13 is a 9mm, and it's 35 nylon, 35 acrylic, and 30 wool. It's 50 yards. So there's not a lot of yardage here, which means it's pretty thick. So there's that. Next, we have some, I hate using the word knockoff, but this is a Rowan yarn knockoff. They misspelled it, R-O-W-N-A. It's supposed to be R-O-W-A-N. Anyway, there's 6 donuts here of this yarn, and let's see. It's supposed to be superwash merino. Let me see. No, false. Fake news. It's 50% wool, 50% bamboo fiber. There you go. And there's 8 of them, not 6. So we have 8 of those there. Okay. Next, we have 2 skeins of Bernat Fluffy from Yarnspirations. So this is a bulky 5-weight yarn. I've got 2 of them here. It's 90% polyester and 10% nylon. It's 9.8 ounces per skein, 280 grams per skein here. You have 415 yards per skein. All right. And there's 380 meters. So tons and tons of yarn. This is machine washable and dryable. Great for Boggy Creek blankets. Great for the house. You can make many things with this. Next, and this is what I think weighed the most out of everything in the box. There's 4 skeins of Yarnspirations Bernat Crushed Velvet in purple. So I'm just going to take one of these out. They're pretty heavy. I have no use for this because it's hand wash, lay flat to dry. Most of the yarn that I have here, I need machine washable and dryable unless it's wool, which I can understandably deal with that. But most of the yarn here that I work with is for donations, and I can't make a blanket hand wash, lay flat to dry. No, not for donations anyway. So Bernat Crushed Velvet, and the colorway here is called Potent Purple. Potent Purple. I love the color. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely, absolutely love this. So 4 skeins. And just to recap, guys, this was the unclaimed yarn for the month of September. It's rolling over to this month, and I have to dissect this box because postage rates affect anything weighing 10 pounds or more. So this box here was 13 pounds. It was one of the 13-pound boxes. So the other 13-pound box was claimed. This one was not, and this was sealed. So no rhyme, no reason. I literally just slapped labels on boxes, and whatever you get is what you got. You know what I mean? So that was the box. All right. So I'm just going to put this over here out of the way. And now we're going to get into the yarn that I have outside of that box. So in my cleaning, I dug, I moved things around, and I came across more yarn to share with you. Some of these yarns are donations that were given to the channel that I happened to find in cleaning. So here's one of the bags. I'll go through that in a minute, but first I want to go through what I have here on the table. So one of our lovely viewers of the channel by the name of Landers sent me a bunch of yarn a few months ago, and I'm going to be sharing some of this yarn. So I literally split this yarn with you guys. So some for you, some for me. So thank you, Landers. Once again, I'm working through everything you gave me. I'm sharing it with the viewership. And I put it into this bag here. So we have 5 skeins of this lavender color and 4 skeins of this, I want to say like a latte color yarn. So this here is Draper James yarn from Joann. This was acquired before they closed. So it's very soft, very squish. It's a dull lavender color. So this here is 60% superwash merino, 40% acrylic. So it's a blend yarn. And they are suggesting a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. So it's on the thicker side of a 4-weight yarn. And it's hand wash, lay flat to dry. All right, so these boxes are going to be Pandora's boxes. You're getting everything. You're going to get imperfect skeins of yarn. You're going to get potential hanks of yarn. You're going to get cute little skeins like this that are all pretty, that you can pack and stack away. You're getting everything. And I'm doing that because with the postal rate increases, it just makes better sense to give you guys all the things. So there's 9 skeins in this bag here. How many yards is in this? I'm sorry, I have to check that. So there's 142 yards, which is another reason why I'm going to keep all of this together. It may not be the best color combination, but maybe you can make a hat with one of them and a scarf with another, or 2 separate projects, you know? So whoever gets this will be getting all of this. All right, so there's 9 skeins in total. Draper James wool. All right, so there's that. The next thing I have here is Big Twist Gentle. And this is 100% anti-pilling acrylic in white. There's 131 yards in this, 120 meters. It's 3.52 ounces at 100 grams. And the suggestion for hook size here is a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. It's a thick 4-weight yarn. Actually, sorry, false. It's a bulky 5. So if that's the case, it's a thin 5. The yarn I just showed you was a 4-weight yarn, and they suggested a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. So that's a thick 4. This is a thin 5. Okay, so there's that. Anyway, let me take a quick second. I'm going a mile a minute. It's this is what happens when you're like pumped up of caffeine, you know, trying to shake it all out. Very good. All right, so how are all of you guys? Are you guys good? All right, I'm a ping pong ball right now. All right, this next one here is a bag of vintage solids. Hi, Helen. Welcome in from Adelaide. Thank you, thank you. Thank you to my international viewers that are coming on. I know this is not the best time of day for you guys to be watching me, which I do have to tell you guys, it's why I go on one time a week really early in the morning for the international viewers. So even if you're local, if you're here in the States and you happen to be up at 4:30, 5 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, feel free to come on. But I go on once a week super early for our international viewers. So for those of you guys that are international watching me now, it may be in the middle of the night for you guys. It may be a weird hour. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I have a bag of vintage solids. So this is machine washable Studley yarn. It is Studley Supreme in this, like, I want to say like aqua teal color. All right, and there's 4 skeins here, and let's see. Machine washable, lay flat to dry. It's 60% acrylic, 40% nylon. It's 20-gram skeins, and that's literally all they give us. There's no barcode on this, and that should tell you within itself how old this is. So, and shade is number 421. So, yeah. Did I miss anybody? A huge blanket hello to everybody peppering in. Thank you so much for being here. I came on a little early today. I was bored. I was just sitting here waiting for some company. And I said, well, I could technically sit here and wait for 6 o'clock to happen, or I could just press that play button and come on, and whoever comes in, comes in. You know? I know how much you guys hate missing any of the minutes of the live. I'm kidding. I know you guys want to be here for all the things every single minute, and I love that for us. I love that for you and for me and for us. All right. So the next thing I have in this organza bag is Lion Brand chenille yarn. And you saw I gave the other chenille yarn away. I'm giving this chenille yarn away. It's not the prettiest of skeins, but I promise you it's not used. It's an unused skein. And this is Bernat Velvet in the colorway Chilled Blue. In this skein, you get 10.5 ounces at 300 grams, 315 yards at 288 meters. And they suggest a 6.5 US letter K crochet hook. Hi, Suzanne. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Super soft, super squish. But again, the reason why I'm not using it is because it's hand washed, lay flat to dry. And I make donation blankets, and the things that I make for donation need to be machine washable and dryable, which means all of this is now for you guys. And thank you so much, Linda, for gifting the membership. And congratulations to Nikki for getting that gifted membership from Linda. Thank you so much. Next in the organza bag, we have the same yarn, but it's in a different colorway. It's not the prettiest of yarns. It's not pretty. But yeah, Sandy Cream. Oh, thank you so much, Carrie. Love being part of the fam. Love that for you and for me and for us. I love that for us, right? So good. Thank you guys so much for being here. All right, so I have more on the table still. I still have more on the table, guys. So the next one here is This might actually be a bougie yarn. Let's see. This was a hank that was caked up. Maybe. I don't know. So this is a Willow Yarns, and the colorway is called Shell. The colorway is called Shell. And this here is it's 53 cotton, 47 linen. It's machine washable and dryable. And this is what it looks like here. Happy Sunday, Beth, and everyone in here. Thank you so much for being here. It's a beautiful gray color. So it's a cotton and linen blend for you guys for this month of October. So that's going to go in the box. I have these little Stellina skeins. These are 20-gram skeins and very, very vintage. This is Yorkshire Pride yarn. It's jewel spun nylon double crepe. That's literally all the information that I have on this yarn. That's it. So it's a DK weight yarn, and you've got a bunch of stellina in it. It's got nylon in it. I don't know what else it has, but there's only 4 of these in here, okay? So this is going to be for you guys as well. And yes, I have more of this Temu yarn. I've shown this many times because I wound up getting so much of it. When Temu first came out here, they had these ridiculous sales where things were like a quarter and a penny. And I stocked up on this thinking that I was going to use it all. Well, I never had a chance to dig into all of it. I played with it, but I didn't have enough time to go through all of it. So now I'm sharing it to you guys. So this here is DK weight wool, and it's a blend. So it's 80 wool, 20 nylon. And each one of these contains 200 meters, which is 218 yards. So yeah, 6 of those for you guys. Next, we have this yarn here. This was donated to us by Sherry Astrahan. Sherry, thank you so much. This here is on live yarn. Let's see, it's 72% cotton, 28% polyamide, and they are suggesting a 12 millimeter knitting needle. So this is a number 12 knitting needle, which is an 8 millimeter crochet hook. So it's pretty much on the thicker side. It's really, really dark, but it's pretty thick. Okay. So bulky weight yarn. This is a bulky weight, and the colorway obviously is black, and there are 2 of them. This was saran wrapped to keep it nice and together. So thank you, Sherry, for that. This one here is from my stash. I picked this up actually when I went thrifting. So we have Bernat Homemaker yarn. This is a bulky 5-weight yarn, and the colorway is called Pacific Variegated. And this is going to come with this. So both of these are going to be in the bag. And the suggestion for hook size is an 8 millimeter US letter L. Okay. With that will be this. This is t-shirt yarn. This is a Bobillion Mini. This here is, let's see, hand wash. It says hand wash, lay flat to dry, but I don't understand why that's the case, because this is supposed to be, well, I thought this was all cotton, but yeah, it's cotton. It's recyclable, it's eco-friendly, and this yarn here was actually made in the Ukraine. It's got the label there, made in the Ukraine. Made in Ukraine, not the Ukraine. I have a bad habit of saying that. In the Ukraine. It's just Ukraine. So there's that. And that sums up everything that I had on the table. Now I have this huge, huge bag. Huge bag of yarn. Love that for us. And listen, this is a great way for me to blast through my stash and de-stash, and I'm swimming through yarn and I'm sharing it with you guys. I love that for us. Okay, so sipping on the coffee. Am I missing anything? I hope you guys are all good. I try to stay on this chat when I show yarn, but it's really hard sometimes because I want to make sure you guys get all the information. you know? Okay, so how do I send a PM in Facebook? So you just go to Messenger, go to Facebook Messenger and send a message that way. Yep. Or you could, if you're talking to me directly, you would need to email me. I get too many messages on Messenger. Yeah, it's too many for me to keep up with. So yeah, if you want to message me, it's juantheyarnaddict@gmail.com. Hi, Nisi. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. And Helen and Kathy. Thank you guys all for being here. And listen, I said this earlier, I'm gonna tell you guys again. I used to, a few months ago, I used to separate the yarns. Remember, we used to sit here and pop off and say, that's a misfit yarn, that's a share yarn, that's a misfit yarn. Well, in light of the recent postal increases, all yarn is good yarn, as I always say. So if that's the case, let's live up to the hype. Let's just share and have fun with all the yarns. So if you're one of my winners for the box, hi Jaxie, welcome in. Lots of love you're going your way. Thank you for being here. So if you're one of the winners of the box, take what you want and maybe pass it along to someone else who may want some of that yarn. So if you're not into everything that you receive, share it with someone. You know, pass it along like I am. I'm passing it along from me to you, and then you could take what you want and pass it along to someone else who may want that yarn. It's a great way to just share yarn, you know? So anyway, I've got a ton of yarn in this bag. So I want to say, if I were to weigh all this right now, we're looking at maybe 30 pounds of yarn. Yeah, we're looking at maybe 30 pounds of yarn. This is more than what I normally share on a live, but I'm destashing, I'm cleaning, I'm doing all the things. So you guys are helping me destash by taking the yarn. So anyway, the first bag I have here was donated to the channel by Donna. So Donna sent me a while ago, and when I mean a while ago, maybe a few months ago, she sent me a bunch of this homespun yarn. And I have all of the baby pastel colors. Thank you so much, Julia. I appreciate that. So we have an entire bag of Dawn, a bunch of yarn from Donna. And all of this here is Red Heart Baby Clouds. It's like this boucle yarn in various pastel colors. So I don't want to take it all apart. I'm going to keep it in the bag just like this. Hi, Michael. Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. I will. I'll give Mama hugs. So all of you guys, again, all yarn is good yarn. This is machine washable and dryable. 6.5 millimeter US letter K crochet hook. What you're looking at is more than enough to make a Boggy Creek blanket, should you decide to make a Boggy Creek blanket. If you want to make something for the house, make something for the house. But most of this yarn is the same colorway. It's got that twinge of like mint green. And then you have peach, which I have to tell you guys, that's another color that I really don't care for. If you look at the wall behind me, you don't see peach on my wall. You don't see pink on my wall. Those are the two colors that I really don't care for. So I'm definitely sharing the peach and the pink. So there's that. So we have baby clouds in green here. The colorway is Breeze. Trish says peach and purple look good together. To you it looks good together, not to me. So we have some of this yarn here. It's boucle-ish yarn. Hi Tracy, welcome in. Thank you for being here. I want to say boucle-ish. We have no label, so I don't know what it is. But based on how this feels, it's acrylic-ish. Okay? This is ish yarn, right? Ish. It's acrylic-ish. It's boucle-ish. It's DK weight-ish. Anyway. All right, so in this bag here, we have some Lion Brand homespun thick and quick. I'm going to keep this together by itself because this is thick and quick homespun. All right. So you've got a few skeins of this wonderful red burgundy-ish color. And then you have some of this latte beige-ish color. You see I'm using ish a lot. So This whole bag is the same yarn. All right. So if this is your jam, guess what? A letter P. You heard it. Letter P crochet hook. It's really thick yarn. So they're classifying it as a super bulky number 6, but the classification here is a 10 millimeter, and I don't understand what that is, but anyway, it's got a 10 millimeter US letter P as in Peter crochet hook. So yeah, anyway, the makeup on this is 88 acrylic, 12% polyester, 160 yards on this skein, and it feels amazing. It's very squish. Listen, it's great. I don't dislike this, but if I'm working this yarn up with a 10 millimeter hook, I need a lot of this. To me, for what I would want to make with this, I don't have enough of it. So this would make maybe a great hat and scarf set for someone. That's why I'm going to keep it together. I'm going to keep it all in one bag for whoever decides to take this. Actually, it's going to be a surprise. So if you wind up with this, good luck. Love this for you. All right. Next, we have some more homespun. She's rough. She's on the rough side, guys. Let me go ahead and do a little tuck. I'm going to tuck the leakage a little bit. There we go. Now it's a little presentable. We had to gussy her up a minute. So this is a bulky 5-weight yarn. The colorway is called Blue Moon, and 98 acrylic, 2% other fibers. And there's 185 yards on this, and they're suggesting a 6.5 US letter K crochet hook. These make great cardigans, believe it or not. Like cardigans, throws, a vest, great for wearables. Yes. But for me, and I told you guys in my experience with this yarn recently using Loops and Threads version of this, it's not the yarn for me, which means if I work this up, I'm going to have to hook up to a bigger hook so that it's not as constricted for me. So if you wind up with this yarn, hook up. Try that. It might actually work out for you. I don't know. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Hello to all of you guys. Welcome in. Okay. So the quest continues. I thought about keeping this yarn, this one right here. I thought about it and I said, you know what? The last thing I need to be doing is holding on to yarn. So I'm going to give it to you guys. So we have more homespun yarn, but look at this red. This came to us from Donna. So thank you, Donna, for donating this yarn. I wanted to keep it, but I have to part with it because I need space. So this entire bag, be warned, you're going to have to work through this. It's a beautiful scarlet red colorway. It feels amazing. It feels so nice and squished. Sorry for getting so close. I'm now looking at it. Very close on the screen, but I wanted you guys to see just how beautiful this red is. And the color name of this is Candy Apple Red. Candy Apple Red. The actual skein is right here, and everything in this bag is exactly the same as this. And they are suggesting a letter K crochet hook, 6.5 millimeter. It's absolutely beautiful, beautiful red. Love this. I don't know if there's enough yardage to make like a wearable, but a scarf, a hat, beautiful, beautiful red. So I may actually do a surprise gift. I don't know. We'll see. If you wind up with this before the end of the month, it's because I was thinking of you and I wanted you to have it. So we'll see. All right. Next, we have some more homespun. In fact, the rest of the bag is homespun yarn. So we have homespun in black. Beautiful, nice, clean skein. Brand spanking new, it looks like, in black. The next one here is called Regency. So it's giving us like an oceanic colorway. What is perfect use for homespun? You can make this, you can create like, this is great for wearables. You can make sweaters with this. You can make cardigans with this. They give pattern suggestions. You can make blankets with this. It's really good yarn. I'll give it that. It's good yarn. It's not for everybody because of how it's constructed. It's loose fibers that have, it's got thread wrapped around loose fibers. But with this particular one, you have more of like an ocean watery color. It's absolutely gorgeous. And again, they suggest a letter K crochet hook for this. It's a 6.5 millimeter US letter K. I use prim hooks. So for me, I would use a 7 millimeter hook for this. So I would hook up half of the size, and it does work up nicely. It's very warm, very nice yarn here. And this is a vintage ball of yarn here. This is their old label. So it's an older label there. The rest of what I have in the bag doesn't have labels on it, but is Lion Brand homespun yarn, 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. I have 2 skeins of this beautiful blue colorway. No labels, but we already know this is 98 acrylic, 2% other fibers, 6.5 millimeter US letter K crochet hook. Really, really nice. Let's see. Susan's asking, what size hook did you use for the double strand variegated chaos blanket? I used an 8 millimeter US letter L. Yep. So there's that. And let's see here. I have more of this. Is this the same? No, that's not the same. This is a different colorway of Lion Brand homespun. Beautiful red, just a little cake of red. I have a skein and a cake of this. Very nice. And then I have this. Beautiful, beautiful colorway. It's almost like camouflage, but like it's camouflage meets jewel tones. Isn't that beautiful? So anyway, there's a lot of homespun yarn in today's haul. I thought to myself, maybe I should put all the homespun in one box, but the reason why I'm not going to do that is because the point of the share boxes is to, yes, share the yarn, but also give you a taste of all the different kinds of yarns. So I'm going to put some of the homespun yarn in multiple boxes, but enough to be able to make something with the yarn. And I'm going to be thoughtful of that. I don't want to just dump the yarn on you guys and have you look at it and be like, I don't have enough to make anything with this, you know? So I will keep all of that in mind. That being said, I have tons and tons and tons of homespun yarn. So this is literally just the tip of the iceberg. I have so much more of this yarn. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse, as they say, and just give all of my homespun away. I do want to hold on to it. I do want to make something with it. But once I'm done my make, I'm giving it all away. I'm giving it all away. So let me go ahead and put all of this in here again. Look at this. Something tells me I may actually wind up matching the weight that I just had this past month, 71 pounds of yarn. Well, not technically 71, right? Because one of the boxes, you know, one of the boxes weren't claimed or wasn't claimed. So we actually may beat it. So fingers crossed. I love being able to share my yarn with you guys. So yeah, very excited about that. As I mentioned before, it bears worth repeating. I've been receiving so many donations in the past month from viewers, from you guys, to share with the platform. I'd asked previously, I'm just going to ask again to hold off on that. If you wanted to send me yarn to share with the viewership, just hold on to it. For now, I'm going to use my yarns. I'm going to share what I have with you guys to help me de-stash. And then in the coming months, I'll put the call out there to you guys and ask you guys if anyone wants to donate yarn to the viewers. Feel free to send it my way. I'll be sure to pay it forward. But right now, let me de-stash. Let me share what I have. I have a feeling I may be able to match what we had for September. I may be able to actually beat it. We'll see. But I'm going through everything. So we're going through the bougie yarn. We're going through the homespun yarn. I'm going to go through all of my value acrylics. I'm going to go through all my blended yarns. I'm going to go through my crochet kits. I'm going to go through my knit kits. I'm going through everything. So thank you so much, Luann. Let me go ahead and click that like. Hold on. Perfect. Thank you so much for the postage help, the postage blessing. Definitely appreciate that. So what I may do, I'm actually thinking about this. So do I still want vintage? Not right now. We're putting a halt on all the things until I put the call out there. If you send me anything, the only thing that I'm requesting, it's not even a request, but if you're going to send me anything, vintage variegated yarn. That's the only thing that I'm looking for right now, because I have active projects going where I need that. So, let's see if, okay. Before I forget, just a reminder. No, wait. Ping pong ball. So I may actually do some boxes before the end of the month, just to kind of get it out of the house so it's not sitting here. The September yarn sat in my living room, dining room for an entire month. And I don't like that for you or for me. So I feel I may actually put the call out there. Stay tuned to the podcast episodes. So I will make an announcement in the podcast and let you guys know that if you're interested in any of the share yarn, that's probably where we're going to do it. Like in the podcast, I may say, if you're interested, use this hashtag, and then I'll pick you guys for, because if I can get rid of it before the end of the month, that's actually ideal. So that way I'm not bombarded with all these boxes, because I'm sitting on so many packages that I have to drop off tomorrow. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do going forward. Podcast episodes, like Kim is saying, they're released on Fridays. So Fridays are my podcast days. And, as of right now, I've been very consistent with it. And if by chance I decide not to do a podcast for whatever reason, I will post in the post tab, no podcast today, but that's where you're going to find all of that. The replay treats, the share boxes, I'm putting all that there. All right. So yes. Hi, Mishi. Welcome in. So, yes, cost increase. I actually read Mishi's post. That's where I got that information from. She shared a screenshot on her post tab where it kind of explained the breakdown. So anything in excess of 10 pounds is where you're going to see that increase. So as long as you keep the weight under 10 pounds, it really doesn't affect the cost, which is why that 13-pound box, is one of the boxes that actually stayed, because I knew, like, I'm going to go ahead and crack that box. I'm going to crack it down and break it up and all the things. So thank you, Mishi, for sharing that information on your post tab. Woo, that was a lot of yarn, guys. Yeah, totally understand if things need to slow down to save. Yeah. And also, too, like, I thought about it. If I broke down the yarn into smaller packages, I'd be able to send more yarn to more people, provided that the cost isn't too crazy. The concern for me comes into play where I have a lot of international viewers. I have a lot of new subscribers, right, guys? We're almost at 91,000 subscribers. Okay, and a lot of it has to do with my ground game, but also there's just people coming in from all over the place, right? And if I have yarn here that's not available over there, wherever my international viewers are, there's rise for concern. Like, how am I going to be able to get this yarn to Taiwan or to South Africa or to, another country? So I have to figure out a way to be able to share this yarn with the platform and not just this small little circle. So I'm thinking of different ways of being able to do that. Stay tuned, my international viewers. Stay tuned. I'm trying to think of the things. I had to send a package. I mentioned this earlier today. I had to send a package to South Africa, and it took almost 2 months for it to get there. Almost 2 months. Like, yeah, 7 weeks it took to get from here to South Africa. That's absurd. It should never take that long. And two, just imagine what that postage was. You know, that postage was ridiculous. But if it's a matter of getting brand new yarn into the hands of someone who's never experienced it before, that's the reward right there. That's like the hoorah of it all, you know? Yes. But it was greatly received. That it was a book, by the way. Micro packages with micro fringe, right? Right? So yeah, I sent a book there was it last year? I sent a book to South Africa, and it took a long time for the book to get there, let alone the yarn that I sent. I also sent yarn there. Yep. You sent some books to Africa. It took a week, but cost $120. Yes. So this box of yarn was more than that. Yep. I just kept thinking to myself, the benefit of it actually outweighed the cost, because I really wanted that particular friend of the channel to experience some of our local yarn. And the reward was just the amazement of, their experience of what that was actually like. So, yeah. I'm not able to do it all the time, but when I can, I would love to be able to share. Super, super nice. Um, but yeah, and I look at it like this, you know, if I'm able to share with as many people as possible and it gets halfway there, and the people who get the yarn that's halfway there decide to share it with their friends who happen to live a little further from them, it's like a spider web, if you will, you know? Because I personally know people who have received my share boxes. They took some of that yarn and shared it with other people. So, yeah, I kind of like that. Just passing it from one person to another. Um, yeah, not really sure. Lemon Balm, that question actually came up. So, to my SAFA viewers, South African viewers, they're called SAFAs. At least that's what I call them. My SAFA viewers, there's couriers that they work with down there. And it has been asked many times, is there a way to work with the couriers instead of like the federal and the international, you know, uh, delivery services that they have or whatever? Um, we're not really aware of the different courier services that your country provides. They don't really give us that information. So whatever we see on our end, however that transpires down the pipeline, we don't get to see all of those steps, unfortunately. So I know once it leaves us, we leave with the understanding that we're using like DHL or FedEx or whatever, but they actually drop it off to a third party, and that third party then distributes it the rest of the way. We don't know who they are. That's the unfortunate part of it all. I wish it was more unified in that way, but unfortunately, that's not the case. Anyway, huge hello to you all who have peppered in. I showcased a bunch of this yarn. They do not, Nishi, unfortunately. Mm-mm. I had to send. I sent mine. The yarn that I sent recently, I had to send FedEx, and the FedEx had a drop off point with which then they dropped it off to a third party person or company, and that third party person then delivered it the rest of the way. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know the international situations. Maybe they do have drop off points right outside or inside the country, but to get it to the door, it went to a third party. Yeah. So they are international though. That part obviously we know. They are international, but yeah. It was my package was passed off to a third party to go the rest of the way. Yeah. So not sure what that's all about, but I will tell you there are other countries that are closer that are just as difficult. I mean, that being said, every country is different, right? I will tell you, mailing packages to like the Netherlands is, I mean, you've got to check all the boxes and do all the things. Every country is different, you know. Wonder what Krista uses in Kenya. Right. From what I it's been a while since I've seen anything. But I remember back in the day, she mentioned that she had like a third party service, like some other, maybe it's a courier. I'm not sure. What's the hardest country to mail to so far as you have seen? Denmark. Denmark, 100%. Denmark, and then the Netherlands, Sweden, those countries. It's been, yeah, it's been less than a nightmare, but actually more than a nightmare, because I've had packages returned back to me because of the boxes not being checked appropriately or whatever the case may be. I mean, there are a lot of hoops that you have to jump through getting packages over there. Um, yeah, and yeah, it's just a nightmare. But I still do it. We still do it. The Canada Post is on strike. Wow. That's unfortunate. Luckily for us, I can send to Canada using UPS. They have crazy rules and fees, and the whole process of checking those boxes and making sure that you have your yarn categorized correctly. Like the one package they sent back to me, because I put acrylic, but some of the yarn had an acrylic blend to it, and the boxes weren't checked right, so it got sent back to me. Yeah. I'm going to be the international postage expert soon. Right. I mean, if I keep mailing international packages out, yes. But there are countries that are really easy to ship to internationally. I will tell you that I haven't had any issues sending to, what country is that? Croatia? Yeah, Serbia, Croatia, out there. I haven't had any issues. I just pack it up, I check the boxes, and I mail out. No problems whatsoever. I've had a package mailed out to Russia. No problems. Just I did my things, no issues. So there are countries that accept packages wholehandedly with no issues. So I guess it's, it is what it is. Oh, very nice. Yeah. And also too, I have to be wary, and maybe you guys too, like if you're mailing international, be aware of what is actually on your box. Like if you have exposed barcodes, make sure they're covered up. If there's any wording on the outside of the box alluding to something that's different, so if you're using like a diaper box to mail yarn, make sure that's covered up, because they look at the outside of that box and they think that there's something wrong with the paperwork. The paperwork says yarn, but the outside of the box says diapers. They're going to question that. They're going to crack your box open. They're going to tear it apart. They're going to look at everything inside there. And then they're going to pack it all up very sloppily, I might add. And you're going to receive a box that clearly looks like it's been cracked into. And I don't know about you, but I don't want a box that's been torn through, You like to flip your yes, that's a great idea, Christina. Take your boxes, flip them inside out, and then retape everything. Perfect. Yep. Perfect solution to that. And by the way, the best way to use the boxes is to recycle the boxes. If you receive a box, keep it, cut it, flip it like the suggestion came across, and then just retape it and reuse it. I mean, if you can, use the box as is. Cover up the barcodes. If there's no words and it's all plain, use it that way. You know? Yeah, use what you have, because everything is expensive nowadays. I mean, I don't know about you, but like I don't want to have to keep buying boxes. If I have boxes here, if we can figure out a way to just reuse it, it's perfect. Now, I have to tell you guys a little secret. I have a bunch of friends, off of camera, on the channel, off the channel, that live in the UK. Okay, I do have lots of friends over there. People that I've gone to school with, people that I made friends with after school, after college, and it's very, very frustrating knowing that it's so expensive for me to mail a very light package to the UK, and they can mail a package to me and it's a fraction of the cost. Like, it's very frustrating knowing that. We charge so much money to mail a package out of this country, but it's very affordable for people to mail things to us. Can anyone explain that to me? I don't understand that. And I talk to my friends over there in the UK, and I mean, they come back with it is what it is. But It's very frustrating. I don't think it's fair, you know? Oh, I don't know. Because I have a bunch of friends, yarny friends, that absolutely want to try our yarn. You know, local yarn dyers, Big Twist, Michael's Yarn. You know, they want to try these things. And I want to be able to send it to them. But like, it's so much money. It's ridiculous. Same for Germany. They have flat rates by weight to the US, but we pay a fortune. Yes, it's ridiculous. I don't think that's fair. I think that it should change. I think that it should be equal because, I mean, how awesome would it be to have our UK viewers work up some Big Twist and or maybe work with some Loops and Threads Soft Classic, and they can understand how amazing and fun that yarn actually is to work with. It's so good. Hi Kim, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here today, or tonight, or this morning. Wait, it's 6:50 p.m., which means 6, 7, 8. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe 9 o'clock in the morning where you're at, Kim. I think. I'm guessing. Kim M. I try to guess the time frames of our international viewers. I love that for us. So we pay ridiculous prices on everything. It's unfortunate, you know. Again, it's my little soapbox. You know, I have this wonderful little itty bitty platform of a YouTube channel, right? Lots of people watch from all over the place. I talk about yarn all the time, and I want to be able to share this. But the Postal Service charges so much money, and it's really not fair. You know, you're right, Tank. It's not going to get any better. It's unfortunate. It's not going to get any better. But going back to what I was talking about earlier, if I can send a smaller package, it may be more affordable. It may not be as much as I would love to send, but if I could send a skein or two, you know what I mean? It'd be really nice. So it's almost 9 o'clock in the morning. Yes. I'm learning. I'm getting the time frames. I'm learning where my viewers are and what time of day it is there. Love that for us, Kim. Darlene says they need to meet the cost of living per dollar hour here in the USA. Yes, I agree. 100%. 100%. I most want to try Premier Puzzle. I found a shop 600 kilometers away in Pretoria that sells it for around 200. Wow. Okay. That's what 100 grand. Okay. Roughly divide R by 20 to get the dollar amount. Okay. Wow. Very nice. So, yeah, that's really, really nice. And I got to tell you, there's some yarns in South Africa that I have my eyeballs on. I'm going to figure out a way to get it. They have this mandala yarn, but it's got Nelson Mandala on the front. And it looks just like our Line Brands mandala yarn, but they have different colorways on the cake. I'm going to figure out a way to get my hands on that because I want to be able to showcase that and show you guys how beautiful their colors of yarn are. So gorgeous. I have a few members of the channel that come to us from South Africa, and they showcased their yarn. And I said, wait a minute, I need some of that. Oh, 67 blankets by Kismet. Yes, they have Kismet yarn down there. They have that yarn has got Nelson Mandela. I'm butchering it up. Nelson Mandela. You know, anyway, once I get my hands on it, I'll show you guys the yarn. But it might take a month of Sundays for it to get here. I suspect it's made in Turkey. Yes. Yep. I did learn that. Absolutely. And let's see. I've seen Premier Puzzle in Walmart, but they only had maize and backgammon. I want all the colors, right? So a few years ago, they also had chess. They did a reset. And I should have known better. I should have grabbed more of their red. Their chess is the red. It's the beautiful, robust red colorway. I should have grabbed some of that. But then they did the reset and they did away with that. And they brought maize or, no, seashell. They brought another colorway in and they replaced it. So unfortunate. So unfortunate. Anyway, guys, I got to tell you, I'm so happy to be able to have the ability to share this yarn with you guys. I may share it throughout the month. Stay tuned, as I mentioned earlier, in the podcast episodes on Fridays. It would probably be Saturdays for our viewers down under. So Saturday, Friday here, I will tell you guys more details about how I'm going to share the yarn. I just don't want this to stack up too high. If I can get rid of it faster, I'll be able to share more, so it's not sitting here just looking at me, taking up space in my house, you know? I just got Premier Bloom for the first time. I got it in Wildflower. Isn't it a great feeling? It's a wonderful yarn, you know? Thank you so much, Kim. I really do appreciate that. Very, very kind of you. Let me click that like button. There we go. It's like playing a game. Can I get to the thummy fast enough? Very swap yarn with someone who lives there, maybe. I could, but what I was thinking about was instead of a yarn swap, I mean, because postage, right? I mean, think about it. The amount of money that it takes for us to ship anywhere else, they also have to pay to get it here. So, you know, what's the best way to do that, you know? The 67 blankets line is the Nelson Mandela one. Nelson Mandela one. I can't remember the exact significance of 67, but for Mandela Day, July 18th, we're encouraged to do 67 minutes of volunteer work. So, oh, wow, that's great. I love that. So good. Just check the label, lemon balm, and okay. Sorry about that. Sometimes you guys talk to each other and I don't pay attention to it. And I'm like, are they talking to us or? So, sorry. 67. I love that. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for all the information and all that. And I will be digging into that because I'm very interested. I do have some yarn here from South Africa. I have cotton. I have these little cakes of cotton yarn. I'll show that. It was actually given to me by a dear friend, Linda. She sent me yarn to share with you guys, and I, you know, through showing the yarn, I kept some of that to the side for myself, and I'll share that with you guys. I'll show it to you. It's from South Africa. It's cakes of cotton, beautiful colorways, all the things. I'll be sure to share that with you. All right. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap up this live. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I love our Sundays together. It gets me started for the week, gets me rolling. So stay tuned for Mondays. So members only Monday. If you're a member of my channel, content for Monday happens for members. Also, Whipping It with Juan happens on Mondays. And then we have Taco Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so that's what's coming up next on the channel. And that is all from me now, guys. You guys have a wonderful Sunday. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I can't wait to see you guys again. And until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. Bye, guys.